Hi everyone, we are glad to welcome you to our online event. My name is Evgeny, I'm a moderator today and I want to introduce you my colleague Andreas. He is Microsoft Dynamics 365 expert in printing and packaging industry and he is going to tell you about digital transformation in the printing and packaging. So let's start. Andreas, welcome.
So let's get started with the presentation. Thanks for organizing this webinar. My name is Andreas Jegerlehner. I'm one of the owners and the CEO at the Lean Projects in Switzerland, which is a Dynamics 365 partner, and we are busy with actually implementing a vertical solution for the print and packaging market. I'm a Swiss, as you can hear from my English accent, and my professional background is mechanical engineer, and I'm working since 1995 in the print and packaging industry. We have done over 35 implementation projects, and are working exclusively in the print and packaging market. Lean Projects, my company, is a relatively small, very specialized company, having 16 employees, which is a Microsoft partner, Microsoft solution provider. And we developed this vertical print and packaging solution, which focuses on ERP and cloud services for the packaging industry. So we implemented 35 plus projects with over 70 production sites, and we have more than 25 years of experience in that industry. When we talk about the print and packaging market, our vertical, or what we are talking about today here, is really the vertical market of the packaging manufacturers, which can include folding boxes like pharma, food packaging, corrugated boxes, moving boxes, corrugated materials. Also, some of our customers will be in the label printing, self-adhesive label or sheet label industry, doing all sorts of flexible packaging, like for shampoo labels, shampoo bottles, and stuff like that. We also are busy in the area of litho-laminated packaging, which is typically point of sales type of presentation systems, which the consumers can get their products from the point of sales. We also have customers and projects in the area of flexible packaging, like sleeves, pouches, film manufacturing, and we actually also have a large customer in the area of envelope manufacturing. So that's kind of the scope of the print and packaging solution we are offering on top of the Dynamics 365 product. And again, these are kind of the split between the customers. So all these areas are more or less evenly represented in our customer experience. And we have quite a few customers in very different sizes, from very small to quite large, with multiple 10, 15 production plants across the globe, basically. So we do have customers in Europe, North America, Australia, in the East, in the Nordic countries, and so on. Now, print and packaging industry was already a forerunner in what we call today the digitalization and the Industry 4.0 workflows. When I started in 1995 in working in this industry, we were still cutting film and arranging print sheets basically with cutting film and with a knife and assembling this with Tesa film and stuff like that. Then very few years later, nobody was doing that anymore. Everybody was doing digital workflows, which were called computer to plate or computer to press with systems. So the print and packaging industry already very early was adapting many of this concept of Industry 4.0 terminology, which is probably in other industries is not quite like that. So what does Industry 4.0 actually mean? That's a whole range of different applications and concepts, starting from the more and more connected machines and production equipment, which require a much higher level of cybersecurity, to augmented reality, having people in the shop floor working with HoloLens or with graphical devices to improve the maintenance of machines. Of course, we have a much stronger system integration between machines. We have autonomous robots, AGVs, automatic guided vehicles, which are supporting the workflow and the material flow in a shop floor, and everything starts to generate really a lot of data. So that's also why the big data aspect gets more and more important. We do collect and generate a lot of data, but to make sense out of that, we need the concepts of cloud, big data analysis, artificial intelligence, and so on to actually make sense out of that data. Now, why is Industry 4.0 a big topic at the moment in production? Now, of course, and that's actually also one of our focus areas, we need to go into an increased productivity, and specifically in the print and packaging industry, and I will come to that in a minute. We see the fact that there is more and more orders we have to do, and more complex orders we have to do to actually achieve the same amount of revenue at the end of the month or at the end of the year. So we need to have reduced production times. We need to better utilize our machines. We need to have a better visibility on inventory management and so on. Yet doing more orders, doing a bigger variety of orders with the same number of people and with even higher quality requirements than we probably had a couple of years ago. Also, many products go more into different flexible ordering options. We have a more on-demand type of production, even in the print and packaging industry. And at the end of the day, we also need to have this need for speed to actually increase lead times and supply times to our customers. So that's one of the big drivers of the Industry 4.0. Although the challenge there is also that many of our companies in this industry do have a very diverse set of machines, some new ones, but also very old ones. So it's a challenge there as well to actually integrate all of those different machines on that level of data collection and increased productivity. Now, one advantage or one concept to achieve these Industry 4.0 requirements is certainly to have a very flexible, adaptive platform, and that's where we are proposing the Dynamics 365 cloud ERP solution, which is really very adaptable and running in the cloud, and which actually includes a lot of different services and microservices to manage every aspect of these upcoming new requirements. And the good thing about this actually is that we can start like very small with some simple or down to the earth processes in that sense, and then as we go and as we gain experience, we can actually go more and more into more advanced topics. And if you look at the whole Microsoft Dynamics ecosystem map, and that's just one snapshot from half a year ago, basically, we see that there's not only the ERP solution, which is a very rich set of functionality and which is ever growing with additional functionalities like plant maintenance, customer service integration, CRM integration, and so on. But then we have on top of that, or beneath that, we have solutions for for scanner integration, for artificial intelligence, mixed realities solutions, which will more certainly come up specifically in the plant maintenance field and so on, and going down to even this power platform approach where customers can actually build their own workflows in a much easier and much more cost-effective way than it was actually the case in the past. And also what is a very important aspect of this whole ecosystem and of the cloud platform is actually also that it also includes things like fraud protection and optimization and so on, and because the cyber crime and cybersecurity is gaining a more and more important role as we are integrating all these data elements going forward. And actually, the Dynamics 365 ecosystem is a very broad set of applications. Today, we are more or less just looking at one small bubble here, which is the finance and operations, the core ERP part of that whole ecosystem. But there is, of course, other areas where we can expand to gradually. One very important one is certainly the Power BI platform, which allows us to actually dig into this big data collection and make sense out of the data, but as well the Power Apps, which allow, and Power Flow, which allows to more automate the processes in the organization, and of course all the other connected services like marketing services, talent, HR services, and customer service management. Everything is built on top of the Azure cloud platform from Microsoft, and this is also true for our solution. Now, I already mentioned the print and packaging industry for long years is already on that digitalization path, basically. And what we see as one of the major challenges, which was already also on one of the Industry 4.0 slides, is really that lot size one problem, which expresses basically that the order sizes are getting smaller and smaller. The number of different items which are asked by the customers are getting larger and larger, but with smaller production quantities. So we need to do many more orders, basically. We need to configure more products and execute more production orders to get the same number of revenue at the end of the day. And this lot size one and the increased variability plus the integration with the shop floor, with the Industry 4.0 functionality calls for more standardization and more integration and more automation in the whole ERP process. And I will give two examples for that later in the presentation, like in a real life scenario, to how we actually integrate this kind of information to meet those challenges we are seeing here. Now, if you look at Dynamics 365 as an ERP system and the print and packaging modules, in specifically accompanying that, we have built the print and packaging on top of the Dynamics 365 application. It offers rich functionalities in the vertical market, and this actually allows to have a very strong intercompany functionality, because many of our customers or our prospects are actually multi-site, multi-company companies who have to cooperate and ship orders between the companies in an efficient manner. And of course, having a vertical application at hand for that industry helps to reduce the number of interfaces and to reduce the number of different systems we have to implement and to learn and to maintain. And it also dramatically reduces the project risk and the project duration. As what we always say, we will already meet 85% of the very vertical specific requirements at least. So that risk is already replaced with a known working solution, and then the project implementation can be streamlined in a great way. And of course, one very important aspect we have now at hand, since the Dynamics 365 system came up is that one version vision, which is really a very good concept in that we will never have an outdated system anymore, because we are getting monthly updates to the Dynamics 365 system, but also to the printed packaging modules. So we will always be on top of the technology. We will never have like an outdated system where we have to start a very huge, large ERP implementation again, but we can just gradually expand the system to all those areas we have seen in the roadmap slide to actually manage the information needs and the IT needs of a company as it is growing, as it is also moving into new business areas and so on. So that's a very strong point here for this whole Dynamics 365 system, including the print and packaging solution. Now, print and packaging is actually developed, and to make really sense out of that, it has to be a very integrated part of the Dynamics 365 system, and that's actually the case. We have developed the system since 20 years. We're developing that inside the Dynamics 365 space, and besides the core application, which offers product configuration and all the core modules, we have also gone now to a number of web services, which are all running in the cloud, in the Azure cloud, to actually integrate more external data services like CAD, computer-aided design systems. We do have shop floor data collection system, which can interface to production machines. We do have production scheduling service available to do very specific packaging, specific production, fine planning and scheduling. And quite a new functionality here as well is the integration with the ESCO Web Center system. ESCO Web Center is actually one of the market leaders in the printing and packaging industry for product definition, print, pre-press and print preparation management, tool management, and so on. So we have a very strong interface here to have these kind of integrated workflows. I will show an example of that in a minute. And then, of course, if we, as I mentioned already, we do have very different aged types of machines on the shop floor. And if you want to go the route of Industry 4.0 and actually digitalize the shop floor more, we would need to connect new machines and also older machines to the cloud. And Lean Projects actually offers also a device, counter device, which can connect any type of machine with some sensors and get actually real-time speed and quantity information into the cloud and into the Dynamics 365 system. Excuse me. So if you look at the specific functionalities we are offering in this vertical application, and again, this is really as a shortcut for project implementation. So that this is functionality we have on top of Dynamics 365 system. Basically, is certainly that we are offering as a very specific product configurator to manage the short lead times and to manage the yet increasing number of products we have to configure every day, and we do support very tightly the product development process in this kind of scenario. We also need a very strong supply chain management integration. We need agile approach to warehousing and even to concepts like vendor managed inventory and so on. So that's also included in the package and in the Dynamics 365 ecosystem. Of course, as many of our customers are actually producing either for the pharma industry or for food industry, quality management, traceability, and so on is also a very important set of functionalities we offer. And some people say that the perfect order fulfillment is almost a must nowadays. Large companies, the large brands do not accept false deliveries to a large extent. So if we do screw up orders for a couple of times, then we are just not a vendor anymore. We will be C vendor or something like that. And so we have to avoid, and we have to make sure to secure the processes that this actually doesn't happen. And of course, we also have some specific functionality like that we can manage mixed sheets and many print variants actually in one production order. That's something which could normally not be done that easily in a standard ERP system. And many of our customers also do quite a bit of subcontracting outside production steps, which also need to be organized in a good way. And of course, as this is in a great part make to order business, we also need very transparent estimated versus actual cost comparison, and to actually get a good feedback from our production data to what if our estimation benchmarks and parameters are actually correct, or if we are calculating new product too expensive or too cheap, which both would be not good for the company, of course. And so we are basically also offering a very specific functionality in that area. Right. So to sum this up, the print and packaging functionality is Dynamics 365 full functionality, plus on top a specific product configurator, which helps very quickly to configure a new product, a specialized production module, and a specialized shop floor data collection module to actually handle those multi-part and multi-print variant production orders. Of course, we do have an integrated quality management. We do have a production planning and scheduling application which comes with that. We offer a series of interfaces in the area of CAD, but also in the area of production data interfaces, JDF, job definition format, which is an industry standard interface for to exchange data between systems and machines in the printing industry. And of course, we also support in an integrated way the product development process and the business intelligence functionality as well. So many customers are looking at getting almost real-time OEE functionality from the shop floor, which of course needs specific data we are providing as well. And I mentioned the Web Center interface, and that's something I'll just showing here now as well. So that's very important, and for many of our customers or for many companies in the packaging industry, that's kind of still one break point in the digital process is really the integration between the ERP system and this prepress and the graphical systems, which actually help to define the printing and all the aspects of the printed packaging product. And we have built a specific interface together with ESCO to actually automate and integrate those workflows, which will greatly also speed up the product development process, generating new CAD designs, generating new product designs, but it will also greatly speed up the aspect of print approval and releasing of new products to the shop floor. And I think many customers are actually looking at onboarding their own customers as well to do some kind of online and electronic approvals. Today, we oftentimes have a break in this digital process because there's actually printed proofs and printed paper is sent back and forth to the customer to actually get those approvals. And if we could get that into a digital workflow, we could, of course, dramatically reduce the order cycle time in that sense. And the same then is true when we are actually in the production process to order any types of toolings. We need printing plates, die cutters, and so on. And then we have a full integration in that area as well. So basically, just to illustrate that on a simple example here, when we would create a new product, we would actually go into Dynamics 365 and we would start a new quotation to just create a new product. So we can utilize this whole integration, including the CAT generation and so on, just here from that same screen. So I could just start a new quotation, for example, here. And then basically using the printed packaging functionality, actually go enter into a specific wizard, which would offer me for the type of packaging I'm actually working in, I would offer specialized wizards and screens where I can very quickly generate a new product configuration without going through a very lengthy process in the standard ERP system. So, for example, I could say here I would like to have an ECMA style box. This is a standard box. I would just have to tell the system, okay, what kind of material do I want to use? Then I could actually branch into our CAD interface and just give some very basic information here, like the box should be 90 millimeters by 45 millimeters by 160 millimeters. And then I would just run this process and it will actually start going to the Ardios CAD system of ESCO and actually would execute this process. And the integration is like that we would, while this is running, I can actually just sign into the Web Center software from ESCO. And so what we are doing here is we will actually see immediately those projects would be automatically created for me, and there could be different types of projects. So, for example, we could have a briefing, which would actually be a kind of a development request we can submit to the CAD people without sending emails or sending any type of paperwork. We could just launch those kind of projects. Or what I'm just doing now, I'm just through software creating a new product design, and that will then just end up being a new construction in the CAD system. And that's there's two attributes actually to that. One is the actual box we want to create, and then there's also the production sheet we need to know, because we want to utilize the whole machine in an optimal way. So this is kind of automatically being created by the process. Here. So when I'm going back into Dynamics, I would actually have created an ESCO project. I would have run this box. It would have been laid out on a production sheet automatically, and I could then just go ahead and very quickly actually create a new product. Like probably customer wants to have a quote for 45,000 products. I've already taken over all this CAT related data from the ESCO system, which is another cloud service basically, into Dynamics 365 here. And I could go ahead and tweak the production process. So this is an offset printed product, which does offset printing, die cutting, and the gluing step, and it's all kind of pre-configured already. Also, data can come actually from the CAT system to speed up that process, and then I could just give some name to that new item. I could check if everything is okay here from the material flow point of view. No, I have to click again. That looks great, and then I could just close my configurator, and basically I would already have a new product configured with very specific attributes and very specific size. And I could actually right away go into my price selector and ask for a good margin here on the price and just approve this product basically, which will then also automatically generate a new item number in Dynamics. So that's a very quick process here. So in a matter of even below maybe 10 seconds, we can actually create a quotation which we can send to the customer. I'm not printing this probably here, so we can just go ahead with that. And then we have other integrations in the process which would actually allow to also get all the graphical data and so on generated from that workflow. And that's actually how we could then also bring that over into our shop floor system, which you can see here. That's a very simple, also a web, a cloud-based service, which is now presenting the production data to the operator at the machine. And again, as we have this interface with Web Center or with ESCO, for example, we could actually have this kind of information here available as well. So I could go back and actually inquire my, oops, probably was logged off here, was hanging around for too long. So I can just go back in here, and which will actually give me here like information about the CAD drawings as well. But I could also have other information, like for example, the print configuration of that salt box would actually be available here as well. So that's the type of digital integration and digital workflows we are looking at when we talk about integrating the digital transformation into the print and packaging process. Many of these things nowadays are still done with paperwork and with printed paper back and forth. And of course, we are aiming at speeding up the processes and actually getting more speed by not having to print this, and then there is changes to the products. You have to go back and reprint everything again and so on. If we have this kind of fully integrated graphical and digital workflow, then we are very, very quick and very error-free as well in our whole process. So that's just one thing. Maybe another example we could look at as well, once we have configured a product here, would also be, as I said, the print and packaging industry is having this lot size 1 problem where we have to do many more orders, many more repeat orders to actually do our revenues. So what we also look at here is that, for example, we could go back to our sales workspace. Okay. And we could actually, if we had to do a repeat order, I could just find in our product cockpit, we could just find salt box, and I could just select that box here. That's an existing order. It has already run several times. I have all pricing, production information, tooling information, delivery information, and so on a fingertip here. And then I could very, very quickly regenerate a repeat order. I just give this a name. Maybe customers did supply some PO number, and I could then just launch that that item from here. I think I didn't select it properly, so let's do that again. So we would just have the opportunity now. This time, probably we want to print 60,000 pieces, and we can just launch a new sales order, a so-called repeat order. Now all the details are actually known, so I would just change the delivery date probably, and then I could just launch a production order from here. So again, in the number of a few seconds, we could actually create those production orders and have all the information again on that item available. If we go here, for example, we could see also that graphical representation of the item and so on. And we even can go further than that, and that's probably a topic for an upcoming webinar. Is we are also building web interfaces now, and we actually work with existing customers on that as well. That we actually have a fully automated workflow, even from external systems, to actually generate those kind of production orders and production structures automatically through the process. All right, so I should go back to the slides here. And another aspect I wanted to just showcase as at the end here is that we were talking about the IoT integration, and that's actually another aspect of this Industry 4.0 digital workflow, and that's something which is not quite standard yet in the industry, I would say. So still we have a lot of like manual data collection, manual clocking on the machines, and so on. And of course, using the Dynamics 365 Azure Cloud and IoT capabilities, we could integrate those machines in a much better way, and then get what's called the IoT intelligence realized, which really gives us more insights in how our machines are actually working, how many stops do we have, and do we have a lot of micro stops and stuff like that. So basically, we have built a system here specifically for the print and packaging market, which would actually collect with a little device which is based on microcontrollers and which can connect various types of sensors. We can actually, this is in the picture here, we have a label printing machine, an older one actually, which we see here. So we could actually connect this machine through this little device here to the IoT event hub in Azure, and then using some Azure functions, and we would then actually be able to collect very short-term ticks from the production, performance data from the production into a SQL database, for example, in Azure, and then through a web service, we can either actually gain insights and gain more feedback on those areas in real time, or we can also drive our shop floor terminal. So instead of the operator pushing the buttons manually and forgetting to switch from runtime to setup time and so on, we can then actually use the electronic signal to drive this shop floor terminal, which also will result in less errors and less clocking errors and more accurate information. So basically, that's how this shop floor terminal looked like. We just saw it live, and instead of pushing the buttons setup time, runtime, downtime manually, we would actually have that machine interface doing that more or less automatically, and we would also see immediately what is our current mileage on the job, how many pieces did we do already, what is the speed of the machine. It will actually show here also in a color coding if we are in the range of performance we want to be, or if we are too slow, or normally it's not a problem if you run too fast, and that normally doesn't happen, but basically we would show here as well if you do not meet our performance criteria for the job. And then besides that, of course, we would have or we do have a web service which allows to monitor those devices in real time. We can have a dashboard here which would just show at a glance all of our machines we have running on the shop floor, how they are doing in terms of speed, in terms of downtime over that whole day, basically, and how the productivity is. So what is the portion of runtime and good production actually we are doing today. And you can see here there's different color codings here which we can see. So it gives us a glance, and then we could actually click on the live view button here, which would then bring us into a real-time view of how the machine is actually performing during the whole day. And this gives quite good insights already on how many stops and micro stops do we actually have during the execution of these works orders, which will help us to analyze or maybe to optimize as well the machine. So then the next question would be, okay, why do we have this many micro stops, or how does that is that influenced by other environmental parameters we are also collecting, like temperature, humidity, and other factors we have. At the same time, while looking into this detailed data, we could also see, of course, statistics about the average performance over the last 10 days. So we can easily detect trends on if a machine is getting like into problems, or if you have a not as good as we would like to have order mix, so our average performance goes down. And another thing we are also providing here, and even providing back to Dynamics 365, is kind of an estimation of the estimated arrival of that order on the shipping dock. So we could actually then, based on the current performance of this machine, we can then actually predict, okay, this order is going to use 122% of the estimated time, so that order is running worse than actually we wanted it to be. And on the other side, we could also say, okay, but we can expect this order to be finalized or finished and ready for shipping probably at 10 minutes to 10 in the evening. Of course, these are estimated values, but it would, if we are in a just-in-time shipping situation, and that's something which we're looking at more and more as well, we could then give the shipping personnel a much better information on whether this order is actually still to be expected today or not, right? And actually, as this is a web service and the web page, of course, we could also even use that on a smartphone. So even production management could easily see how are the machines performing, what is our output performance, and so on. Okay, so this basically concludes my little speech here, and I was trying to give you like two ideas on how this integration, standardization can actually help in digitalizing critical workflows in the example of a print and packaging company. And I hope this was giving you a good overview also about our print and packaging solution we are offering on top of Microsoft Dynamics 365. Thank you.
Thanks, Andreas, for your presentation. Thank you, everyone, for your attention. If you have any question, we are glad to answer them now.